Travel, beauty, fashion, entertainment, arts, fitness, celebrity interviews, and inspiring, engaging conversations with some of the best new and old music around. All this and more when you tune into On the Go with Tiffany Patton podcast. Now, here's your host, Tiffany Patton.
You are listening and watching On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty. And we have an amazing show for you again today. We thank you so much for watching once again. And I hope you had a great week. But we have another amazing artist. Now, if you didn't know anything about Detroit, we breed some really great musicians and singers. And I have an amazing, now see, but when we do it here in Detroit, because it's the Motown, it's the Motor City, we kind of do it like a double and a triple threat. So most of the people here that are artists, they also dabble in other things. They're also musicians and producers. Like the person that I have here to my left, it is no other than Brandon Williams. He is an amazing producer and a drummer. And I want to say musician because the drums is not the only instrument that he plays. He's extremely talented, and he has played with the likes of Rasan Patterson, Mesa, Will Downing, Jill Scott, Najee, Raheem Devon, Rance Allen, Johnny O'Neill, Gene Dunlap, Talib Kweli. I mean, the list goes on and on and on
And on.
and on and on.
And on.
And he's done not only music, but he's also done a lot of commercials that we've seen during even like Super Bowl time.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Fallon done it. One was even with the Roots.
Yeah, the Roots.
Did you
yeah,
deal with the
Questlove,
Roots?
Yeah. Oh,
See, this guy is, very humble, but extremely talented. And I'm
Thank
so proud to call him a friend of mine here from the D. And he does an amazing work, but he has an amazing new project out. And we'll be speaking to him today. Welcome, Mr. Brandon Williams, to On the Go.
What's happening to
You
all
know
right?
what? Okay, now, mind you, I said friend right, but I didn't know he was like this out cold. So I'm going to apologize to you.
It's not a problem.
I had no idea. I just knew you were talented.
I appreciate that.
But I didn't know
that's-
that the world knows how
But that's
talented
all, but
you
that's
are.
all you really need to know.
Okay. Okay.
Every you just know what you need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the other stuff is cool. I don't
he
talk
just
about it. I don't
said
put
on
it out.
live
Yeah.
air that I'm on a need to know basis, so that's okay.
You
Yeah,
so
you're
silly.
right. No, welcome. Okay, so
Thank you for having me.
your last album, 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, first of all, I want to know why you called it 12.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We can get into that.
And then the whole entire album, dude, it's just, I love it. Okay, now here's the thing. If you're not in love, if you don't have a boo, by the time you're done, you're gonna want a boo. You're gonna want to at least experience love.
For real.
Even at the holding hand stage, you're gonna want it. Because it's just it's infused with love.
Right.
But it's so good. And the reason why I say it that way is because, Brandon, I love music, but it's a very rare thing to turn on or put on a CD and you like every song. Normally, it's just one song or two songs. You're doing good if you find three.
Yeah, if you get
But
if you
every
get three.
song on there, man, and I'm not just saying it because I know you, because I really love music, and I'm very critical because since I was like little.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I wish I could sing. I can't. I wish I could
do
play.
You, do you know that you can't sing? Have people told you can't sing? I'm gonna go with yeah. So okay.
No, okay. I did have a few people tell me that if I had training, that I would be probably really good.
Oh well, okay.
So but I can't just naturally sing.
Okay, I got
And
you.
when I hear certain melodies, certain things, I hear something different.
Okay.
And so I automatically want to sing, and I would probably scare people away. So because
Don't
of
sing.
that, no,
Don't
I
sing.
don't do that.
I
I
don't
stay in my lane.
I don't want to go running out of here.
No. But tell us about what motivated 12, and the process, because I respect your process.
Okay.
Oh, that's so. Okay, I got something else. Go ahead.
The process, respect the process. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get to that,
Yes.
and we can talk about that with the new single, the new album, and all
Okay.
of that. But so the first question that you asked was, where did the name come from?
12. Yeah.
And it's a very significant number that not only was it the first time that I played professionally, that was a really important thing.
Okay.
But 12 is just such an important number because it's a number that's all around us that we never really pay attention to.
That's good.
I see a lot of people on Instagram, doing numerology and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, and doing, people catching 1111 or 111, and that kind of thing.
Which is an amazing number.
It's an amazing number.
It is.
But people don't pay attention to 12. When you think about how many disciples Jesus had, he had 12.
That's good.
It just represents a number of completion. So it was also, when you think about how many inches are in a foot,
Yeah.
it's 12.
Yeah.
How many months are in the calendar year, it's 12.
Yeah.
When you look at a piano, from C to C, diatonically, there are 12 notes.
keys, yeah.
So it's that kind of number. You look at a clock, it's, 12 hours in the day, 12 hours at night. So it represents a number of completion, just kind of all the way around. So that's kind of where that came from.
That's good.
Yeah, that's where that came from.
Okay.
And then where did, I don't know, the feel of the album came from what I believe love should feel like.
That's good.
That's kind of where it came from. Like the perfect love, the love that you want, the love that you may have already. Even the love that you've experienced that didn't necessarily last, because I think, everything goes through what it goes through.
Yeah.
And you may have had a perfect love, but it just didn't work.
Right.
For whatever those reasons are. But I believe that's what I tried to put in there, was what the perfect love should feel like.
Well, he did that. And I mean, you guys will hear it in just a few, but 12 completion. Now, see, normally, okay, because 7 completion, and
Right.
that's what they say. But I've never noticed that, and that
Yeah.
is so true. 12. Okay, so with all of this success of 12, and still success of 12, you started a new single.
Mm-hmm. The new single's out.
The new single's out, and it's
Yes.
hot. And okay, so first of all, I want to find out now, when you're playing and writing your music, are you hearing or seeing a particular artist in mind, saying, you know what, I think if I could get this person on this would be dope?
I am, and especially in the case of the single, I created this song specifically for Brian McKnight Jr.
Wow.
And like he was the only voice that I heard in my head when I was creating it. So.
Wow.
When I finished it up, I reached out to him like, yo, I got one for us. And yeah, that's kind of how that went. Yeah.
And then see, he can specifically create something for someone and them actually say yes.
Right.
Yeah. See, that's what
Right.
that comes from being an amazing producer.
And I think, well, yeah, it's that, but I'm such a seeker of knowledge, and I like to study. So it comes from that too. Not only studying, life, but just studying people. So you kind of have to know what people are into, kind of the influences that they've had.
Yeah.
And for this one, I had never heard Brian do anything quite like this.
Okay.
So I wanted to create something so I could showcase him in a different way that people hadn't heard him before. Yeah.
Because he actually does a lot of different genres of music.
Yeah, Brian, like,
I mean, from country on down.
One of his favorite things is country
Oh, my
music.
goodness.
Like mine. Like when I'm in my car, I'm either listening to Brazilian music or country music.
Seriously?
Like literally, if I turn on the
I would've
radio
never
in the car
thought.
right now, the country station, like I'm listening.
So do you wear cowboy hats?
I don't. Well, actually, no. You know
You
something?
would
I left my
actually
hat.
look nice in a cowboy hat.
I'm gonna have to find a picture. I have a picture of me in a cowboy hat. Like I have boots and a hat and the whole nine.
Wow.
But I love cowboy hats.
Okay.
I would love to go to the hold down and and all of that stuff. I love country music because they tell really amazing
Good
stories.
They
Yeah,
do.
it's stories.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. That and the blues, I think.
Yeah.
They tell, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so were you and Brian in the studio at the same time? Did he lay his down, and then you add him?
You know what? I've reached out to him after I created the track.
Okay.
I told him I had one, and I would have loved to have been there when he did. When he recorded it, but I wasn't able to get out to LA because I was busy here working
Yeah.
on other stuff with other artists, trying to get it done. So I sent it to him. He sent me what he called the demo of it,
Ah.
and I'm like, nah, dude, we're
This
done.
is it.
Like, no, we're done with this. He was like, I'll lay all the vocals over, blah, blah, blah. I just want you to hear the lyrics.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, no,
That is amazing.
no, this is what we got. So that's what people are here, on the recording is actually what he calls his demo vocal.
Wow. And then so the song is called
In Love. Yeah.
So do you have the name? Now, the new album has yet to be released. It's set to be released spring
of 19.
2019. Okay. Can you give us any sneak peeks about it? Do you have a title of the full album yet?
Yeah, The Love Factor is the name of
okay.
it. Yep, The Love Factor. And then, I mean,
and he has T-shirts, already done.
Yeah,
and
I got my T-shirts.
Still got to get mine.
Right. Why you
Okay,
hang your shirt?
We're not gonna go there.
Don't get in trouble on here.
Okay.
Don't get in trouble.
I'm gonna get my T-shirt because they're so dope. They
Thank
really are. The Love Factor. So this is why I kind of really admire this one right here. It's because when people ask me, describe yourself, and then I think of two words always, and that's light and love.
Okay.
It's about myself. But I'm always drawn to people who consistently talk about love because I feel like that's a dying thing, which is so weird because that's the one thing that God requires us to have more than anything else.
It is.
Which is love.
Yeah, and it's dying for sure.
Yes.
You turn on the radio, you look at the news. I mean, it's really, really sad. It's really sad.
And they say in the last days that everybody's heart should wax cold, and that is definitely happening because so many people have no regard of other people and just the sanctity of life of itself.
Right.
With that being said, if you follow Brandon, he has some amazing posts, like deep posts. So first question, any thought of writing a book?
You know something? I'm actually planning to release a book along with the album. And that's a little known.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's little known information. But a lot of people, they see my posts, and I'm usually posting about love and loving each other, self-love, and most of my posts they're rarely influenced by me, but conversations that I have with other people, or seeing people, other people's Facebook posts, or listening to conversations at the store. I mean, just anything. And I'm always learning. So I believe that everybody should always be learning and evolving. And evolving. Constant evolution is what I'm about. So, I just think it's really important, to share with others about love and to make people actually think. I just think that's important.
One post that you posted, which I think is really relevant right now, and even last week when I was talking to Essence, and they're having their mentorship program and what they're putting into the young ladies that they're going to be mentoring, is one class in and of itself was talking about self-love.
Yeah, it's important.
And I didn't understand. So many times I think we as people, we think that we love ourselves, and we're going through life, and until whatever that defining moment is happens, and then you're like, wait a minute. If I was truly loving myself, I probably wouldn't have did that. I may not have gotten to that situation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, you might need to step back because I don't think you was really loving yourself.
Not for real.
Or not for real. Or the person who, because I've said it to people like, I love hard. But there's one thing to love other people, but you can't truly fully love people to the best or the way I think God really wants us to if you don't fully understand self-love and love yourself first.
And that's such an important thing, and I'm glad that you understand it that way.
Yeah.
Because I was having a conversation yesterday, and I talk about this all the time. People always say that you can't love someone else without loving yourself, but I don't necessarily believe that to be true. Because as someone who suffered from bipolar disorder and depression like years and years ago, even through those struggles and me not loving myself, I still have people around me that I love.
Yes.
I love my brothers. I love my sister. I love my mom. I love my dad. So I still had people around that I loved.
Right.
But it wasn't until I started truly understanding how to love myself properly that I was able to love other people properly. So that's a really important thing.
Yeah.
is that you can't love other people
Properly, yeah.
until you learn how to love yourself properly.
Like taking life's first breath, or finally being able to see my heart's beating out of my chest constantly. Baby, that's how it feels. Being in love with you. Could this be real? Being in love, like finding light in the dark, or land when you're lost way out at sea. You have supplied the spark that's restarted me. Now I can do anything. That's how it feels. Being in love with you. Could this be being in love? Now I'm at a loss for words. It's truly hard to explain. I know this may sound absurd, but without you, I may go insane. That's how it feels. Being in love with you. Could this be real? Being in love with you. That's how it feels. Being in love with you. Could this be being in love with you?
24 Grill, located inside the Western Book Cadillac Hotel in Detroit, presents a casual approach to fine dining. For more information, call 313-964-3821 or visit the website at 24grill.com.
Okay, so you probably should like rename yourself or like add like it should be like Love Master, Love Guru.
You so
I
silly.
don't know. I'm just saying. No, I'm honestly, because I think another thing that people don't do is that they're not willing to be transparent.
And that's another. And I'm gonna let you finish, but we're gonna get into that.
Yeah, because transparency heals people, and we don't understand nor realize that it truly does. And I think it's because I don't know if it's pride or we really don't want people to know that we went through XYZ. But see, the thing that I noticed that I'm drawn to people who are very not only loving but transparent, because at that point there's a pureness or a genuineness that is lacking in
Right.
the world that automatically draws me to that person.
Okay.
Without them knowing, and that could be female, or male. Female being friends and family, people that I want to even do business with.
Right.
If there's a transparency and a rawness with them, and rawness being not afraid or authentic, not afraid to be authentically who they are, then I'm drawn to that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I feel that there's like something, too many masks, it's just like, okay, I mean, I might kick it with you, but not for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's crazy because there's been a cleaning process that I've done this year, just like in myself and the people around me. But it had to happen because God had to start doing it first for me
Right.
to really see what I was working with me. You can't, sometimes you can be surrounded so much with people that you really can't see what you need to do.
That's true.
And it wasn't until I faced myself, which some of that stuff was kind of ugly. Just
See,
saying.
and I'm telling you, like, you can't. You know what it is? The thing about transparency, people are really afraid to look in the mirror because
are.
of exactly what I just said. It's fear.
Yeah.
That is it. It's just something. You know, I mean, it's hard to deal with a lot of things that people have been through.
Yeah.
And I,
Yeah.
you know, I myself have been, you know, through some ugly things,
Yeah.
which I'm sure you have, and a lot of
Yeah.
people, you know, we've all been through things that we don't necessarily want to remember, or things that we may have done to someone else. But it's not until we look in the mirror and say, yo, that was effed up.
Yeah.
What happened to me, or that was
Right.
effed up what I did to this
Right.
person.
Right.
Like you can't start to heal or truly see yourself or start
true.
loving yourself or
So
other
true.
people until you look in the mirror and say, yo, none of that good.
No.
And it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed.
Michael Jackson said it best. You got to start with the man in the mirror. If
Period.
there was not ever a truer song, that
Se-
song, I was
seriously.
just singing it like it was just nothing. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's so true.
Yeah, start with
So
the man
true.
in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways.
Yeah,
Like, you
got
gotta-
to.
Yeah, you have to.
Especially if you want more. And there's so many times that we feel like we're right at the brink of something. We can't understand why I can't just get over
Why
that
I can't
hump.
touch it? Why I
Yeah,
can't
like why I
grab
can't
it?
get right
Yeah.
over the hump.
Yeah.
And that hump is that thing that's in between you and that other thing. 9 times
It's
out of
just
10
you.
is yourself.
It's you. It's you.
So you just have to get out of your own way.
Yeah.
And once you get out of your own way, and that means really being honest about some stuff. Like, okay, I do got this baggage right here, and maybe I can't get rid of it. But if
Right.
I can't, okay, God, I need you to either send me somebody tangible to help me work through this stuff,
Yeah.
or I need you to deliver me from this stuff. Whatever
Right.
it is, remove it, because I want to be the best representation of who you originally called me to be.
Right.
And so many people don't understand that it's so many things in life that filters in us that causes us to
Yeah.
not be our original self.
Oh, it's true. I mean, life will do that to you, you know,
Yeah.
because you think about the purity of a 1-year-old, the purity of a
Yes.
2-year-old.
Yes.
Like they're much closer to God than we
Yes.
are.
Yes.
They're way, like
Oh
they
my
haven't been
God.
jaded.
No.
You know, I mean,
Ah.
they just haven't been jacked up.
No, they
ain't
haven't.
been jacked up.
And
They
it's
haven't been
so
through
wonderful
anything
to
yet.
see.
Yeah, so you know,
Yeah.
you think about that, and then you
Yeah.
look at somebody 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, and you see just how far we get,
Yeah.
you know,
Away.
away from that
Yeah.
that purity and that light, you know, and
Yeah.
it's jacked up.
It is.
But you know, we should always be trying to fight to get toward that.
Yeah, I would agree.
I believe that we're all insane. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
everybody on the planet.
Got an issue.
You know, at our age, like everybody's
you.
insane, and we should always be fighting toward sanity.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we should be fighting toward sanity because things in life will drive you insane.
True.
You know, and not in a way where you walk around and act in a way where we perceive
You as
insane to
crazy.
be.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but everybody on the planet is crazy, and you know we need to fix it and be striving and walking toward and fighting.
Yeah.
You know, to get back to like we were when we were 5 or 2 or you know.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, our new ad campaign is going great guns. Sales are up, profits are up, business has never been this good. And it's all because Higginbotham called Detroit Sound and Video.
Be a rock star in your business. Call Detroit Sound and Video. Advertising, marketing, media production.
I was was talking to a friend of mine, and then we're gonna get back to the music because I know you have something about the process with this new album.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone about, and she was talking about just wanting to be married.
Okay.
And wanting to be married, and that's nothing wrong with that. You should definitely desire that if that's what your desire is. However, what I noticed when she said it, it was how she was saying it, and then I replayed like a lot of different other conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that maybe, when we're little kids and we're playing dolls and you're like, want to get married, and I think maybe we should, got to say this the right way. Think about ourselves.
I would say this the wrong way because
Right,
I know where you're going with it. I would just say it.
Because you, okay, so I'm going to say it this way and I'm going to quickly, because I don't do no foolishness. You should really be, instead of playing with dolls and talking about being married, you should probably just learn how to play with yourself, like in the purest form of that meaning.
Right, not that.
Not that meaning, because there's some people that just...
Oh, of course.
I mean, learning what it is that you like. Like, you can be playing with a friend and they want to play cops and robbers or whatever with your Barbie doll, and you'll do it just because they've asked you to, instead of just learning how to... I think we need to teach our children how to be independent and use their imagination,
Right.
and know who they are for themselves. That's what I mean by playing with themselves, so that so that they have that self-love.
Right.
Instead of always striving for that and still knowing and getting into relationships. And once you get in the thing, it's one thing to obtain a blessing. It's another thing to maintain it. But you can't maintain it if you don't have the proper tools inwardly.
To make it happen. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's true. Like some people, you talk about, children and you should be into yourself more.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people as adults are afraid to go to the movies by themselves. Like, why won't you just go to the movies?
In a heartbeat.
Like why do you have to get your friend, or why you have to have a guy, or why do you have to be on a date to go have lunch by yourself? Just go sit down, pull out your money, pull out your card, go get you something to eat. Do it by yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of that stems definitely from childhood, but women a lot of times are taught to want to be married from the time you're 3 and 4. This is what mothers are telling their daughters.
Yes.
Get married, have a husband with the white picket fence and the dog.
Ooh.
And women are constantly looking for this all the time.
All the time.
But it's never taught to the children from their parents to focus on you.
Yeah.
So you constantly, okay, I want a man, I want to have a dog, I want to get married, I want this perfect life.
Yeah.
But you can't have a perfect life if you yourself aren't trying to be perfect yourself. And none of us can be perfect,
right.
But we should be striving toward, toward being that. So it's messed up how people, how people go that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And, because it was funny because I was telling somebody, I said, well, I don't want, and I know it's going to sound so crazy, but I've never wanted the house with the picket fence.
Don't sound crazy at all.
Like, I've always wanted more. Like, so I wanted the bigger house. I mean, but I didn't want the picket fence. I didn't want the 2.5 kids and the dog.
Right.
I mean, I can have a dog, but I wanted to be able to travel. I wanted to be able to do what I'm passionate about. I wanted to be able to, okay, if my husband is here and I'm here, let's meet in the middle. Like, I've always wanted something different.
Right.
I've never wanted that. And people would always look at me.
And what's
like,
the 0.5?
Right. Oh, well, they say 2.5.
What is the point?
I guess it's the baby. Like, you got the 2 kids and the baby. I guess. I don't know.
Listen. Okay.
I was supposed to pick up on that. You were just supposed to flow with that, Brent.
I've been hearing that forever. Like 2.5 kids.
I was thinking a baby. I don't know. I could
think
be
a
wrong.
baby is still a whole person.
I do too, but maybe they're thinking like little. I don't know. I don't know.
No, we gotta be logical.
Okay, so the 3 kids, I guess, that's never really been what I wanted, and I think if we would teach our children differently, younger, and even with that being said, our men, I think, oh God, and this is a thin line to walk.
Walk it. I'm
Okay,
right here.
so I think we need to teach our young men to be in tune with their feelings. However, still being very manly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because see, a definition of being a man is different for each person. Because
True.
there can be, I know some very manly men who are what they call, what is it,
Metrosexual.
like
Yeah.
you can catch them wearing anything, but they're extremely manly. Or you have real men who do hair, and you have
Oh yeah.
real men. I mean, however, and I understand that we're in a different age. However, for me, raising a son, I would want my son to be the example of Christ and how he wants it to be.
Mhm.
And that's just my preference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I don't think men are allowed to be, because you guys hold so much. I have so much respect for men. I always have, and I always will, because you guys carry so much all the time, and you really
Yeah.
don't really have outlets of where to drop it off and
But
pick it up.
yeah, but you know something? It's a stigma though, because men have been taught by their fathers improperly. Like I used to hear, and I didn't hear this from my father,
Okay.
but I used to hear as a little boy when I would cry to man up. Like, what does that even mean?
Right.
As a 5-year-old boy, I'm not supposed to cry. Like that makes no sense at all.
Right, because if
to
I'm hurt,
me.
I'm hurt.
If I'm hurt, then I'm hurt. Of course, there are other ways to deal with it, but as a 5-year-old, you haven't learned any other ways to deal with it
That's
yet.
right.
If you cry, you know what I mean, or if you fall, you start to cry. You shouldn't be told to man up.
Right.
Let me check on you. Let me see if you okay.
Exactly.
And then, I'll teach you a different way to deal with it. Okay, maybe it didn't hurt as bad. Maybe your first reaction shouldn't be to cry just because you fail. So that's the thing that I believe a lot of people aren't teaching their children.
That's true.
Is how to deal with different emotions in different ways.
Yeah.
And men are taught, and I actually got a post saved in my phone right now that's going up pretty soon about about black men in general and the stigma that we shouldn't show emotion and that kind of stuff. And I don't
Yeah, us
I'm
ladies,
not I'm not the guy to go with that. And a lot of
we
women
deal with that a lot.
yeah, and a lot of women believe that men shouldn't show emotion.
Oh, I know.
And
gotta let that man
I
cry.
believe that there's a way to do it. Of course, you ain't just gonna go around just crying about everything all the time. That's a little unmanly.
I'm sorry if I see you do that and you're a man.
Yeah, that's a little.
I may not want to date you, but
Not may. You won't want to date him
I'm not.
because
I'm not.
no, you won't
But I
want
will
to date
check
that
on
man.
you. I will find out
Yeah.
and then make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
But I like manly
See,
men.
men. This is the way I see it. So, I look at men like homes. So imagine
Yes, that's good.
I mean, wherever we are, and there's a bunch of tornadoes around. It's all types of problems. It's all types of stuff happening.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna open myself up. All of the women, all of the children, y'all come in here. Y'all come in here. I'm about to figure. Look, I'm about to protect you. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna take all of this for you. I'm gonna take all of the beating, all of the punching, and I need to look. And I'm gonna still stand here. So then you just have to figure out as a man how to deal with those things. But that's how I see a man should be. But that doesn't mean that you can't show the bruises on the outside. You see what I'm saying? Because if a tornado is hitting you, even though you're doing all of this protecting, some of those shingles may get ripped off. A window may come out, and you may be a little bit hurt. But how do we fix that? How do we fix it?
I'm not gonna walk around
You
this
know.
place. He's gonna make me run.
I'm serious.
Because this is what I have always. This is how okay. I've always seen a man that way, and it never did I ever think though that they didn't have emotions or feelings. Because I'm kind of sensitive, spiritually and then and just emotionally. It's like I never like to see anyone hurt.
Right.
So I'm gonna be sensitive to that. But when I think of a man, or when I think of who I would like to be in my life, the idea of what he would be like, that's it. Because to me, a man, and I don't know, I've always had my dad in my life, and I saw how he was with my mom.
Right.
And they were married 32 years before my mom passed away. And then my grandfather, I watched him. He had 18 kids, and him and my grandmother were married 64 years. So, like, I saw, but then other men that I gravitate to, they're just men who I know, like, they handle it. And they're kind of like, and it's so funny that you said home, because that's how I say it. It's like, I want my husband to be home to me, someone who, when I run, I know he has me.
Right. I can
And
run inside.
And I can run, and I know
yeah.
that I'm safe.
I'm good.
And I'm good, and I don't have to worry about or have to worry. And that's only because I am a woman. There's certain things there's certain weights that I have had to carry that I would like not to have to carry.
Yeah.
And in my mind, with the right guy, I should be able to take all of that weight off and just, okay,
Right.
this is what I have. Now, how can we, because I don't want this weight.
Yeah, how can we deal with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, how can we deal with it?
But on the flip side, though, I always want to be the person, I want to have someone in my life that I know that his heart is mine. Like, I don't have, it's not a fight for you to open up. It's not a fight for me to have your heart. It's not a fight for you to know that you can trust me with your heart. Like, it shouldn't be that way. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine earlier. It shouldn't be that way.
Right.
I don't think.
But it is most times.
Yeah.
Because guys are taught not to share.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just hold on to it, and you're just supposed to hold on to it until you know, and that's why
To
you got so
what?
many, exactly, you know, until who knows what. Like, who knows?
Oh, goodness, till you explode or implode. I mean, like, come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, which is a huge problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which shows, especially in today's society, it shows us that the way that we've been taught and the way that we continue to teach is not the right way.
That's so true.
It's not the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. See, he got some substance. And for
Little bit.
all of you ladies that's going to try to hit up his DM because of what he just said.
Stay out the DM.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Stay out the DM.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, I'm taking. Stay
Yes.
out of the DM.
Hey,
Yeah.
listen, you don't want to do it. I try to tell you.
24 Grill, located inside the Western Book Cadillac Hotel in Detroit, presents a casual approach to fine dining. For more information, call 313-964-3821 or visit the website at 24grill.com.
Okay, so the music
Mm-hmm.
and the process.
The process.
The process.
I respect it.
Yeah, yeah.
I respect it.
And I respect your process because I've watched you. Because you see, you do a lot. You do some things that I know certain musicians just won't do, and I don't know if it's because of pride. I don't know if it's because of. It's got to be pride because most people don't want to ask other people for help or ask, you know, and I mean, but it's not, and I don't say it as a negative thing because we all have that to a certain extent.
Right.
We just have to kind of
Yeah,
out of our own way.
we want to take it and we want to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah. But you, sir, have with 12, and even with this one a little bit, probably not as much, but still, you had a process to where you know you had different. Campaigns and
Right, yeah.
you had, you know, different events and things put together. But it took, I almost want to say, it took a course of 2 years. Am I right? For the last
for 12?
For 12.
4 years.
4 years.
It
Okay,
took
so
a
for this year.
long time.
Okay, so for this one, how long did it take?
You know something? I've been creating on this album probably for the last 3.
Okay.
But a lot of that stuff has since been thrown out. And so when I reassessed it and I kind of looked at the album the other day, and it's actually only been about a year.
Okay.
So since the top of this year, January, you know, I'll say maybe a year and a half is kind of how long it took. And I'm actually probably going to finish the album up by 2019. So I got one more song to do.
Okay.
And it should be done by the end of this year.
That's good.
Yeah. But, you know, you speak about, you know, asking people.
Yeah.
And I believe that we're here to help. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
We can't do anything by ourselves. And the music industry these days has changed so much. Like the days of, you know, record deals and getting $1 million record deal, $5 million, $10 million to sign. Those days are through. So being an independent artist and even a major label artist, you have to go to the people who say that they're your fans. You know, in my case, I call them my believers because these are people who believe in me.
That's good.
So the way that I see it is, and a lot of people think, like I ran a Kickstarter for, or not a Kickstarter, but a Pledge Music campaign. So the way that I did it, and the way that a lot of people didn't see it was, if you pledge something, I get the funds now, and then when the album is done, you get what you get in return. So it's kind of just, you give me some money, or not give me some money,
Right.
but you pay for the album in advance.
In advance, yeah.
You know, that's really all it is. And I'll never forget, you know, this one guy came up to me and he was like, man, you know, I don't see why you doing this. You taking these people's money. And I'm like, well, and I had to explain it to him like that. You know, if I sign a pair of drumsticks and they pledge $20, I still have to pay for the drumsticks.
Yeah.
I still have to pay for the shipping.
Yeah.
I still have to take time out to sign them and then send them all out. So I'm not really making anything.
Right.
I'm just getting money in advance to make the, you know, to make the album.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget when I saw a Pledge Music campaign from George Benson. And we all know who George Benson is.
George Benson.
He's the greatest guitar player in history, period. There's nobody better than George Benson, to me. So I saw that he did a Pledge Music campaign for his album that he was doing in tribute to Nat King Cole.
Wow.
And this is a man that has been making records for the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So I sent this link to this person who said something to me, and he was like, oh. And he was a little more open to seeing how that whole process worked because it's George Benson.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, dude, I'm not just out here taking people's money.
Right.
This is what people have to do, especially independent artists.
Yeah.
We need to do it this way. And, you know, I mean, that's just kind of the way it's done these days.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you're not signed to, you know, a smaller label, or, you know, or you're not working a job where you're making money to, you know, to really fund your own stuff.
Right.
You know, I mean, but, you know, the way I look at it is, even if I was working a 9-to-5 job and I paid $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for an album myself, on the back end, people are still going to pay for the album.
Exactly.
So, you know, you just pay for it in advance. But there was a lot of, you know, stigma around that whole thing when it first came out, but that's kind of the way it works.
But it was so weird because I never felt that way.
Yeah.
Actually, what I felt was inspired. Because I said, oh man, if B can do this, Brandon, if he can do this, if he can do this, then I mean, I can too. Like it's because there is a thing of asking, and then two, we always go to the people who we think support us when we don't understand that there's people supporting and watching us that we don't even know about.
Very, 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 very true. There were some names that came across my Pledge Music campaign.
I'm sure.
And I'm like,
whoa,
what? This person? Like I had no idea that
you know how long I've loved you?
that you were like looking. And you know, we've been friends on Facebook for 10 years. I never hear from you.
Yeah.
And then you pledged that. You know, it was stuff like that happened. I'm like, you just never know who's paying attention and who's watching and who believes in you from afar without saying anything.
So true.
You know,
so
and
true.
as artists, we have to kind of look at that and grab hold to it, because we always look at the people who are in our face all the time, the people who come to the shows all the time.
Yeah.
But we have to remember that there's some people out there who don't show up. For whatever reasons, they don't show up, but that does not mean that they don't support you.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. We're talking to the Brandon Williams. You're watching and listening to On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty. We'll be right back.
There are mere musicians, and then there's him. When he solos, he uses every note in the scale, and some that aren't. His flatulence has a 5-octave range. His name is known to generations of untipped bartenders. He is the most fascinating musician in Detroit.
I'm not always laying funky tracks in the studio. Sometimes I'm hanging out with hot babes. But when I'm not doing that, I'm laying them at Detroit Sound and Video.
Detroit Sound and Video.
Rock on, dudes.
And we're back. You're listening and watching On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty. And I'm in the building with the man himself, super producer, musician, artist, extraordinaire entertainer, trying to figure out what other things. Oh, relationship guru.
You so silly.
Oh my goodness, yes. Love, he's the love guru. I'll be the love doctor. I don't know. I just know I love love. And he is a man who actually loves love and understands it. I mean, but you know, you don't go through that though without going through some things.
Ooh,
so
Lord,
I'm
listen.
gonna just say that. So
And you have to read and study a lot.
yes.
Yeah, you have to read and
Yeah.
study. You got to study people.
Yeah, yes.
You know, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you have to keep your mouth closed and just sit. That sounds crazy because I'm a people watcher. I always have been.
Yeah, I'm the same
always
way.
have
It's just sit and just kind of
Like,
look.
just watch.
Yeah, just
you
watch.
know,
You'll learn a lot by
Ooh,
keeping your mouth closed.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yes, you will. Okay, so the new album,
Mm-hmm.
you have the single "In Love," which we're going to be playing after this, and Brian McKnight Jr. is one of the ones that you selected for this piece.
Right.
But you've worked with some other amazing people. Can you give us some of
Yeah.
the people that you've
Yeah,
worked
so,
with on a new project?
Man, it's a ton of people. So I brought Alex Isley back.
Ah,
And, you know, people were really fans of Leave Love Be. So me and Alex, we got another one. Ooh, we
Alex,
got
I
another one.
love you.
Yeah, we got another one that me and Alex wrote called Say You Love Me. And it is amazing. It's amazing. It's one of my favorites on the record. And then you see, I got a mid to up tempo jam
Okay.
with Eric Roberson. Me and Eric, we
Hey,
doing our
Eric,
thing.
K.E. I
Yeah,
love
we doing our
Eric.
thing.
Yeah.
And Monifa.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Monifa, and we're actually this is the last song that I need to record with her.
Okay.
I won't tell the concept of the song, but it's a really
Let's
dope
not.
concept. But Monifa is dope.
Yes, yes.
And people are going to get to hear her in a new light. People don't know that Monifa is as great a vocalist as she is.
Yeah.
Monifa's been dope a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, people just see her on R&B divas, you know,
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. But Monifa is really, really dope.
That's
So,
cool. That's cool.
grateful to be working with her. And who else? Artia Lockett, who's actually one of my favorite vocalists. She's the daughter of Anthony Lockett from Cameo, who sang
yes.
Sparkle.
Yes.
So I got her, and she's singing on one of my favorite songs. Matt
Okay.
Cusign is back. I brought him back to do another one. He did everything on the last one, and me and him got kind of a mid-tempo, kind of anthem kind of song.
Okay.
It's really dope, you know, dealing with you know, some of the racial issues that we've been dealing with. So
Good.
just kind of trying to reflect the time that we're living in with, you know, with
conscious.
this album a little more.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those are a few of the people. And yeah. It's gonna be a
So
good
another
album.
dope album is coming.
oh, it's
is
gonna be good.
basically what he's saying.
And look, and it's so much better than the last one. The last one was really good.
okay, now.
But this
I
one,
don't even know what to say to that.
I'm telling you,
Because-
it's real good.
I'm a super duper fan of 12.
I'm telling you,
So,
this one is it. I
Oh
mean,
my
it
goodness.
is blowing 12 out of the water.
wow.
To me, the person that I was 4 years ago
And that's so good.
was 12.
That's so good.
The person that I am now is the Love Factor. So, you know, it's 4 to 5 years of growth as a producer, as a musician,
That's
as a
good.
man.
That's good.
And, you know, this album just represents all of that.
You know, I was just going to ask, what do you feel the difference is between the two?
And
you
that's
said it.
those
Yeah.
are the differences.
Growth.
Yeah, it's just
Evolution
growth.
of me.
Yeah.
If I had a album, that's what my album would be called, The Evolution of Me.
I like that.
That's
I like that.
That's good. Okay, so do you ever take submissions from, like, let's say that there's some younger artists
Mm-hmm.
or writers out there and they say, you know what, I love what you're doing. Would you consider, I wrote something, would you consider it? Do
Oh
you-
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually had people submit stuff to me. Nothing that has made it, you know, on an album yet.
Right.
Like I did the same thing with 12. Some people reached out and
Mm-hmm.
submitted a couple songs, and a couple of songs were actually recorded, but they just didn't make it because they weren't strong enough.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm always open to taking submissions from, you know, from other artists, and
Yeah.
songwriters,
Cool.
you know, other producers, and we can, you know, collaborate. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm open to all of it.
So what's one person that you have yet to work with that you really would like to work with, like really bad?
Oh man.
Now.
You know something? It's gonna sound weird to a lot of people, and a lot of people may not even know who this guy is.
Okay.
But there is actually this country artist, and actually I'm gonna give a couple artists.
Okay.
This is one guy named Chris Stapleton who is so dope. He's got a song out called Tennessee Whiskey, which is one of my absolute favorite songs. So I would love to work with him.
Wow.
Chris Bodie is another one.
Okay.
I would love to do a collaboration album and produce an album for Chris Bodie and Michael Bublé.
I love Michael Bublé.
Oh, Michael Bublé is
Oh, my
amazing.
goodness.
So I would
I
love
think
to
he's
do.
coming here next year.
Probably so.
I think I heard
As a
that.
matter of fact, no, he is. I
Yes,
saw.
it's
Yeah, I
like
saw
in
tickets
March
for
or something.
sale.
I don't.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I would love to do an album with Chris
Yeah.
Bodie and Michael Bublé.
Wow.
And yeah, so those are a couple people.
Okay.
Like no mainstream people, but
But it's okay
yeah.
because you know what? The one person who I really and please, if you're watching, if you see this, I really want to interview you because I've really been in love with your work for a really long time.
Who you got?
And that's Barbara Streisand.
Listen to me.
She is
Barbara
dope. Barbara
Streisand.
Streisand is really, 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 really
Yeah,
dope.
Barbara.
Really, really dope.
She's actually one of my favorite vocalists.
Yeah.
I love Barbara Streisand, and people don't know that she's a really great singer.
She is.
She-
Oh my
you know, people see her in the
God.
movies, from
I
the
mean,
80s and
yeah.
the comedies and that
Right.
kind of stuff. But Barbara Streisand is
She's
dope.
amazing. Amazing.
Barbara's-
Her
yeah.
vocals are like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But she's a triple threat. Like, and she produces and she directs and she does so
Everything.
many things.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, my mother just was a wonderful, wonderful woman who kept me very diverse in all music. And I think I know okay, so I was 8.
Okay.
And, it's my birthday and I can do anything I want to do. And so my mom said, where do you want to go? I said, well, can I go to McDonald's? Because, see, that was back in the day, you guys, when McDonald's wasn't just a thing that you did every day. That was something that you did on special occasions.
Right.
Because you ate every day at home.
Right.
So I went to McDonald's and then I wanted to go see a movie. And by golly, she took me to go see that movie. I probably shouldn't have seen it because certain parts I had to close my
Yeah,
eyes.
it's a little-
But Yentl,
Yeah.
what 8-year-old asked to see Yentl?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
And she did such an amazing. I mean, she just showed exactly who she was, range-wise, even as an actress, right there.
Yeah.
So
Barbara's dope.
Barbara Streisand is
Yeah.
who I.
That would
oh
that
my
would be
God.
good. I would
Yeah.
love to
Ooh.
get the Detroit Symphony in on it and that whole thing. That would be good.
Barbara, Michael
Yeah.
Bublé.
That would be
I hope
good.
you guys are listening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Barbara
you on this.
Streisand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
she's
love
dope.
Her. I love her. What is your favorite song on this album?
Ooh. I'm not even sure.
Okay.
It's so many. Everything is just so good. I actually just wrote. Actually, you know something? My favorite right now is actually an interlude called "The Love Factor." It's kind of the theme of the album. That
Yeah.
I would say that one is my favorite. That one I'm playing all of the instruments and and that. But and it's not because of that. It's
Right.
just because of the way it feels.
I've heard a lot of albums that I've loved the interlude.
Oh yeah.
And then I wanted it to go longer, but then it stops and it goes into the next song, and I'm like, wait, I want
That's
more.
that's what's gonna happen with this one. It's
Okay.
like a minute 20 seconds long,
Okay.
and you're gonna be so mad when it passes. Yeah, you're gonna be mad.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good. That's my favorite right now.
Okay.
I've been through phases, with different songs. Like "Say You Love Me" with Alex was one, at one point, and then "Love Dance" was another one. That was my favorite. So yeah, it's just a really good album. I'm so excited
I
about
can't
this one.
wait.
Listen,
Spring of 2019. Okay.
we don't have long.
Yes. Please bring us to spring soon because I want to hear this album.
and to get past the snow we're about to get.
Yeah, I don't like
It's
snow.
coming. These boots you got on.
It's okay.
Listen,
Yeah,
you ready?
Yeah,
You
I'm ready. I'm ready. And I'm also ready to make it out of here next month. Is 111. The reason why it's such a great number, it's my birthday.
Oh, dope. Come through 111.
Yes, come through
through.
111.
Come through.
I thank you for just being who you are
Oh,
as a person, as an artist. You have an amazing ear.
thank you.
And I thank you for allowing the process to work for you and like showing it to the world so that we know that there's a process to everything. But at the end of the
Yeah.
process, it's just all types of goodness. I mean, and I have to say
Yeah.
it that way because it's just all types of goodness.
Yeah, some goodness coming.
Yeah, yeah, and we have more
Yeah.
coming, much more coming. You definitely want to. Right now, you can purchase In
Yeah.
Love.
Yeah, you can get In Love. You can stream it. You can purchase it on all of the digital, wherever you
Social
get your
media
music
sites.
at, you can get it.
Definitely do it.
Yeah.
We will have all the information here on the bottom of the screen for you to get to Brandon Williams to get it. Brandon, how can we follow you?
bwilliamsmusic.com is my website, and
Okay.
B Williams Music is all my social media: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Okay.
I don't do like Snapchat and
I don't
any of
Snapchat
that other,
either.
any of that other stuff.
I don't
yeah,
do that.
Yeah, I don't do any.
Okay.
I mean, because it's just so much to keep up with.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
so
Yeah.
you need Twitter and Facebook and Instagram these days.
Yes, you do. You
Yeah,
do.
everything else they can have it. But-
Well, make sure that you follow him on all the things below right here, because you can have Snapchat. We love you, millennials. But you always come over to Instagram anyway, so I guess
Right.
it's
Yeah.
okay. It's really
Yeah.
okay. I've been on the go live with B. Williams. One last thing.
Yeah.
Tell us something that we may not know about you, that the world may not know that you can share.
Something. Oh man. I have no idea.
Okay, I have one. I'm gonna give him a hint. 'cause I
Yeah,
asked him
what you
off air.
got? Oh
So
Lord,
you
not
said-
that.
No. So no.
No, and it's fine that I do sing, and I just don't sing in front of people.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't do it in front of people. I'll never forget. I was doing a talent show. I was doing a talent show in 1994,
Uh-oh.
and I sang. I was doing the lead to Shy's "If I Ever Fall in Love,"
Oh, nice.
and I swear a swarm of girls chased me all the way home from the school after this talent show. It was crazy. I'm telling you, like that used to be my thing, like singing. And, I was,
Okay.
I had a group called the Passionate Players. And we had the black jeans and the Jodeci boots, as we ended up calling them, the Doc Martens.
Yeah, that's
And,
what the Jodeci
and
boots. Yeah.
no shirts. This is back in the day when we
Too
was
much.
look. I'm saying, this is back in the day we was humping stages and and all kind of stuff back when I was young. But
You thought he was Bobby Brown.
right, I was Bobby Brown back in the day. I was Bobby and Casey, and I had that thing happening.
Yeah,
it was
so
fun.
glad that he came from those days and that we're here.
Yeah, but I put all of that. I put all of that aside, and now I'm just doing. I'm the dude that encourages people in the studio and gets them to sing how I need them to sing.
You just told me much more than what I even knew just a few moments ago.
But that is something that people definitely didn't know about me.
Well, I'm glad to know this now. I think it helps me put it all together. Brandon, I thank you so much
thank
for
you for
being on
having
the
me.
go.
Thank you for
He
having
is
me.
a ball of fun, but a ball of knowledge and wealth of knowledge.
appreciate that.
And you definitely want to make sure that you download In Love today. You can go to iTunes, Spotify. Make sure you follow him on Spotify as well.
Please, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You definitely want to do that because he is the man and he has some great music coming for you this spring of 2019. Thank you so much for being on the go.
Thank you for having me.
You are listening and watching On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty.
24 Grill, located inside the Western Book Cadillac Hotel in Detroit, presents a casual approach to fine dining. For more information, call 313-964-3821 or visit the website at 24grill.com.
And we're back. You're watching On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty right here on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and YouTube, and all Amazon Alexa products. I thank you so much for listening and watching. And it is now time for On the Go to the show. Every week, I love to give you some of the upcoming movies that are coming out so that you can know where to go to get a great show. And this week, we have more great movies for you. I like to thank Warner Brothers, who we are partners with. They have many great movies that are coming up, and I have them all for you right here. You are watching On the Go to the show.
Hey, buddy, you that fish boy from the TV?
It's Fish Man.
My son,
You could unite our worlds one day. The land and the sea.
I'm not a king.
The world needs something more. A hero.
Aquaman. Rated PG-13. See the extended video on YouTube now.
And we're back. You're listening and watching On the Go with Tiffany Patton, your link to love, life, and liberty. And I'd be remiss if I did not provide you with the word of the day. And today's word of the day is evolve. Evolve. Evolve into the person that you know that you are within. Evolve to the place that you know purpose and destiny lies. And you wonder to yourself right now, like, how do I do that? Well, all you need to do is make up in your mind that you're not going to run from change. That's it. Simply allow change to happen. And what I mean is, if you are looking to be that entrepreneur, that boss, a better parent, a better child, a better steward over your finances, then make it up in your mind to change. Do the things that you need to be able to do to evolve to the next level. So that if that means go back to school, if that means pick up a book, if that means go on Google and start watching tutorials, if that means just changing your attitude, if that means stop waiting for another person to change and you make the change, you be the change that you want to see, whatever that looks like, the evolution of me, I talked about today jokingly, but there's an evolution of me that is happening. And I challenge all of you to allow an evolution to begin within you. There is a better you. You are great and amazing as you are right now, but there is someone else that is waiting to break free and break loose inside of you. That is the very best version of you. So dare to evolve. And do it before the 31st. You don't have to wait for a new year to become a new you. You can become a new you today. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of our guests. Brandon Williams, B. Williams. Make sure that you follow him, B. Williams, on all social media sites. He has just an amazing project that is coming up. And you want to make sure that you get his new album. His latest single is called In Love, and it features Brian McKnight Jr. That's right. Brian McKnight. His son is an amazing singer, and he is on the new single from Brandon Williams called In Love, and it's everywhere where you can find music. Follow him on Spotify, download on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, anywhere there's music, Rhapsody, you can get it, download it. I guarantee you, you will be in for a treat. I thank all of those who are watching and listening on The Go with Tiffany Patton. Please make sure that you follow us on social media at On The Go TP, on the gram, IG, and on Facebook as well, On The Go with Tiffany Patton podcast and TV show. And you can go to the website, www.onthegotiffanypatton.com. I thank you so much. Thank you so much for Warner Brothers for our On The Go to the Show segment. And as always, make sure that you sow love and show love, because there is someone who needs you exactly the way you are. Until next time, next week, got some really big people in store for you. So please keep watching. Have a wonderful weekend.
Like taking life's first breath.